call me Robbie, but you can call me anytime.
Oh, okay, here we go.
We've all been caught shooting our shot. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it really doesn't. It's just part of the game you're playing. And for those of you who actually have the courage to do it, well, props to you. What is going on, guys? Being an NFL player is a grind. There's no denying that. The physical beatdown that these guys take week in and week out is very real, but it also comes with a load of perks. The fame, the fortune, and of course, the, well, let's just say boost to their dating lives. Guys end up having a little too much fun playing the field, and they shoot their shot at the wrong person, who is in no mood to reciprocate. Instead, they get their shot blown up for the whole internet to see. Not exactly crying for these guys, though. Glad someone's keeping them humble. Let's revisit 10 times NFL players got caught shooting their shots. Jimmy Garoppolo. The Jimmy Garoppolo experiment in San Francisco has been an up and down journey for sure. Yes, they made the Super Bowl a couple years back, but a lot of that was on the back of a dynamic running game and big play defense. One thing that is for certain is that Jimmy G has enjoyed his time as QB1 in the Bay Area and its extracurricular perks. I'm sure he was never exactly hurting for attention when it came to dating. But now that he is a multi-millionaire starting quarterback in the NFL, I doubt his stock has ever really been higher. And as a result, Jimmy G has been shooting his shot and shooting it often. Sometimes it works, like when he ended up out to dinner with Kiara Mia, an adult film star. And sometimes it doesn't, like when he hit Erin Andrews with the "feels great, baby," and a couple doses of that $1 million smile. What a jawline. Or that time he started hitting up multiple Instagram models right before Valentine's Day, presumably eager to lock in a lady for the occasion. To me, you just have to wonder how often the guy is letting it fly like this, if we've already seen so many other examples come to light. Tua Taga. Tua Taga has had a rather shaky start to his NFL career with the Miami Dolphins. At times, it has looked like he's had trouble getting up to speed with the way things have to be done at the NFL level. The former Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback better start picking up his level though, because otherwise he will have no shot at locking in a date with his celebrity crush Shania Twain, who he was gushing over in a Q&A video the Dolphins posted ahead of the rookie QB's first season in the league. At least the initial clip got a response from her. It must have been a long time of shock for the Hawaii native, who's actually a pretty big country music guy. Maybe it was all that time down in Alabama. Now, in fairness to Tua, his exchange was not nearly as thirsty as some of the other players who made this list. While he clearly has a thing for the country music sensation, he did not get caught sliding into her DMs or anything. He was just playfully answering a question that was clearly part of the media kit. And besides, Twain remarried back in 2011, not to mention the fact that she has a few decades on Tua. So it's likely safe to assume this won't translate into any sort of relationship. But again, even if he doesn't play well, I mean, you know, she could like him. Possible, Tua. You never know. I'm rooting for you. Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has made the tabloids a handful of times throughout his NFL career for some pretty high-profile relationships. He famously dated sideline reporter Erin Andrews, NASCAR driver Danica Patrick, and a few other ladies with significant public followings. But this incident took place back in his college days at Cal, when he perhaps uncoincidentally was shooting his shot at the sideline reporter interviewing him by casually inviting her to come over and watch some movies with him. It's all about movies. I'm sure she's heard that one before. Even so, that cheeky smile tells it all. Aaron knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what? Credit to him, because it did seem like she was eating it up, at least on a surface level, especially considering that she probably had at least 5 or 10 years on him. Antonio Brown. I suppose at this point, Antonio Brown ending up on a list that is even remotely controversial should not come to a surprise. The guy has a disciplinary rap sheet longer than his admittedly impressive list of on-the-field accomplishments. That being said, no shocker that he has gotten caught shamelessly sliding into DMs of Instagram models on multiple occasions over the years, some of which came across thirstier than others. There was his bizarre interaction with Emmy Lau, aka Barbie Dolly, during his brief stint as a member of the Raiders. Or there was the time he decided it was a good idea to shoot his shot at JT, a female rapper, who was clearly having none of his nonsense. Maybe next time don't just declare you want to date a city girl, then publicly demand that she check her DMs. Hey, AB, she probably saw it. I've been there. You got left in the DMs to drown like an average Joe. Gotta get over it. Move on. Troy Aikman. Everyone has that aunt or that uncle, or those parents, that can't quite simply get a handle on the whole social media thing. They are into it, they post, but usually it is about inappropriate topics, or they are screwing up some incredibly basic function of the technology that we usually take for granted. But when Uncle Jim, who works in middle management at a small town company, screws up on social media, it's just a few unfortunate moments of cringe for the family. Then everyone shrugs it off and moves on. That all changes, however, when the Uncle Jib in the equation is Troy Aikman, an NFL Hall of Fame quarterback who won 3 Super Bowl titles for the Dallas Cowboys. And he just happens to be one of the most recognizable faces and voices in sports media. When he starts making careless blunders on social media, it's a lot more difficult to get that taste out of your mouth. I mean, just take a look at the tweet he sent out, which he thought was being sent as a DM to American actress Mari Morrow. God, it's just a tough look for Aikman to be inadvertently sending these cheesy pickup lines to the Dallas area actress just before he heads into town. I mean, did he really think that writing DM in front of the message would turn that tweet into a private message? I mean, God, listen, I'm sure when I'm that age, I'm probably gonna do something that stupid when it comes to like virtual reality Twitter or whatever it becomes, but the point is, that's not how it works, Troy. Someone must have told him that as a joke to mess with him, like really. And Troy just, being older, just didn't really realize. Or, naive, I don't know. I respect the strategic planning aspect of this whole operation, but I mean, come on. The execution simply has to be better. A competitor like Aikman surely knows and appreciates this fact. Adrian Peterson. It's often said in life that it is not what you say as much as it is how you say it. And you know what? More often than not, it rings true. Take this clip of one of the all-time great NFL running backs, Adrian Peterson, for example. He's being interviewed by a nice-looking reporter from Young Hollywood after being presented a copy of the NCAA football video game. From the jump, you can already tell that they are sitting a little too close to one another, and then it just progresses from there. The second she says the word practice, Adrian's jaw nearly plummets through the floor, and he starts trying to turn on the charm with a number of bizarre innuendos. He sounds so corny. It's just, yeah, man. But I guess when you're one of the best athletes in the world, you could sometimes get away with that sort of thing. Legarrette Blunt. Legarrette Blunt made his reputation in the NFL for being an in-your-face, smash-mouth type of running back. He never really seemed worried what the defense was up to. If you were in his path, he's going to run right into you, for better or for worse. And that apparently is the exact same approach that he takes to shooting his shot. At least that is how it seems based on these tweets from Rick Phillips, an anonymous Twitter user who had discovered Blunt was trying to fly his girlfriend out to Philadelphia to celebrate a 136-yard performance against the Los Angeles Chargers. To make matters worse, it wasn't just a pesky boyfriend blowing up Legarrette's spot. Next thing he knew, the girl's brother started piling on, which made it all a lot worse. I can't help but wonder if Blunt was approached by John Deere for an endorsement opportunity after all of this, because wow. Joe Namath. Oh yeah, Joe Namath, baby. Fur coats, women, and women. That's just Joe Namath. He just has that vibe to him, which could be seen as super creepy. It's Joe Namath. Back in his prime, Joe Namath ran New York. There's no denying that. I mean, the man led the New York Jets to a Super Bowl over Johnny Unitas and the Baltimore Colts. That's no small feat. You have to think he had his pick of the litter back in the day. But Father Time is undefeated, and Joe Namath must have missed the memo, which led to this painfully awkward exchange between he and Susie Colbert on national television. Ah, Joe. There she is, just trying to conduct a normal sideline interview. The kind of interview that has gone off without a snag thousands of times before Susie. But on this occasion, Joe, who appears to be blatantly drunk, decides it is a good time to shoot a shot and tell Susie that he wants to kiss her. Just a brutal showing from Broadway Joe. Oh man, he would not have survived in today's culture. No way. Jared Goff. Like Jimmy G, Jared Goff was another young millionaire quarterback living it up on the Golden Coast. And while his little run-in was not quite as direct as Garoppolo's, it was certainly notable. It all started with a pre-snap adjustment that Goff was making in a pivotal NFC West matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. He stood back in shotgun, analyzed the defense, and then uttered 2 words that set this whole thing in motion. Halle Berry. The Rams' decision to use the A-list actress name as an in-game audible caught the attention of Berry herself, who then hopped on Twitter and asked Jared and the Rams, what is a Halle Berry? A pretty hilarious interaction, especially considering the magnitude of Berry's fame. And to Jared's credit, he played the situation perfectly. He fired up a playful and probably honest response, telling the superstar actress it was his favorite play. Credit to everyone involved here for actually having fun on Twitter, instead of just getting pissed off like everyone usually does. It's very toxic, very unhealthy. I guess good for the world in a way, but too much of it is bad and addicting. Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski has a long-standing reputation for being a bit of a party boy, as we all know, especially to modern NFL standards where a lot of players would rather sit in and play Xbox than go out and party it up like players of the olden days. He has since slowed his roll, kind of grew up a bit, and what has involved what many think is a serious committed relationship with Camille Kostick, who of course is a wildly attractive Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. But even just a few years back, he was getting a little reckless, shooting a shot wherever and whenever, even if he was just in a sit-down interview, like he was with Carissa Thompson, when he oh so subtly informed her that he loves to snuggle. What guy doesn't? The two then bounced around topics for a couple minutes, and next thing you know, he is challenging her to find out how much he has changed since he entered the NFL. Spoiler alert, if he's asking her that with that kind of body language and tone, he probably has not changed all that much. Did we forget any instances where an NFL player was caught shooting a shot? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We are on everything. Go subscribe, go follow. Of course, subscribe to TPS on YouTube. We post videos every day. Every day is a new video. Sports videos all the time. Make sure to like down below. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And, you know, thank you if you did. And if you didn't like it, well, you know, we'll do better next time. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.